here on Spontaneous Saturday with Morning Mastery. Hello, Yvette. We're here daily to connect and share with warriors like yourself, committed to your life of growth and mastery. So, Spontaneous Saturday, which we're trying out different names for Saturday. We have our other days like really set. We've got Super Saturday, Spontaneous Saturday. So we're shooting a spontaneous video, actually, that we shot on Thanksgiving, that we'll be putting up on Saturday. So, Yvette, thank you for being my home for Thanksgiving. Yvette is a person who, and I want to make sure you say it properly, you're helping mentor women in...
Yeah, so I mentor women in money, life, and business. So it's giving you the clarity to live your ideal life and love having more money.
Awesome. So Yvette and I met through Tony Robbins' Platinum Organization. Yvette is a dynamic presence there. I was like, Tyler, my son, is with me as my visual guide. As you know, I have my visual challenges. And so Yvette was like all over the room when we first met in Sun Valley. And I'm saying that in the best sense of the word, right? Because you're there for many different reasons. Some people are there just like going a soulful journey. Some people are there to meet people. Some people are there to like hook up, right? It's a very interesting, right? Series of dynamics. Yes. And I think Yvette's there. You're there to build your identity, certainly to meet great people, build a relationship, but make sure you get known and you're known people. Is that fair?
Actually, no.
No?
No, actually, I would say I'm actually there. So there's this thing called the circle of life, and you take life and you break it into 7 pieces. Career, money, health, relationships, intimate partner, family, fun, free time.
Sure.
So before I joined the Platinum Partnership, I created my own circle of life, and I would rate my 7 areas at least once a month, sometimes more often. So actually, the reason I joined is to have mastery and to improve in every single area. Awesome. So for me, the way that I connect with people is I see someone and I think they're interesting, and I'm like, hi, and I just ask you every question that's interesting, or you say, oh, I have this thing and I want to help you. And so what's happened is it's like, oh, that's networking. But the actual truth is, I never think about that. I think you are interesting. How can I learn from you? How can I be around you? Or I can help. I can just say something that can help and give you a new idea. And so for me, it's always love, connection, growth. And what you saw is the outcome of it, but it's never what I think about.
Sure, got you. So let's make a critical distinction.
Yes.
Right? I think we're saying the same thing.
Okay.
Because I agree, you're not there networking.
Yes.
And if you're networking, you got a problem, because to me what networking means is you're looking to take.
Yes.
Right? So I definitely wasn't suggesting that you're there to take, but you are there to meet a lot of people. And, and create that connection, create that learning, growth, right?
Yes.
And give, and then great things happen.
Yes.
Right? So that, and you could see, so this is why Yvette is a person who's living in a high state of awareness.
Yes.
Because she understands the distinction between those, and she's like, no, not that, right? And I should have been more clear. We were saying the same thing, because the way most people communicate, they'd be like, yeah, you're there to like network.
Yeah. And
I would always be like the word network, it's a manipulative word, it sounds like we're taking, so the power of language is critical, and Yvette is very clear about her language. So awesome with that.
Yes.
And the question for the Spontaneous Saturday is, how clear are you about your language? Yes. And the benefits have been really significant. It sounds like you've met a lot of great people who've taught you a ton.
Yes.
Right? I think we're teaching one another a ton.
Yes.
Fair?
Yeah, I would also say my inner circle of friends are mostly Plats.
Very cool.
That's how
and so people, because when I first heard the word Plats, I get really itchy, or like this, when you start like saying words like that. Plat lands elitist, it lands weird, right?
Yes.
So I wouldn't even say Plat for like the first 6 months, because I felt like I felt bad. Now I say Plats all the time.
Yeah.
What is like when you think of a Plat?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is a Plat? Right.
To me, Plats are other people who are crazy enough and dedicated enough. Okay, so the crazy is the funny part, but here's the real thing. I've been going to personal development events for a long time. Therapy, journaling. I literally had my own circle before I showed up to Tony Robbins, who has a circle. Like, in my free time, I create this shit, right?
Yeah.
So to go to a place where there are so many people who are so passionate that they've invested not just money, but time. I mean, dealing with fibromyalgia, you've got vision, some people have young kids. Like, it's not easy for anyone. And so for me, a Plat is someone who has made the commitment to grow. I mean, they're all different. Some people I get along with great. Some people I think are weird. Some people are blah, blah,
Some people
blah,
think you're weird. Some people think I'm weird.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, so we're all different.
Yeah.
want to join a sorority, and sororities are great, but I was like, I'm not paying for my friends.
Right.
And in some
I'm
ways,
not sure sororities are great, but we can talk about that some other day. Go ahead.
but in some ways,
No.
some people would say that's what this is. And I think what you said about distinction is so important in language, because yes, there is a price to get into this group. Now, part of the reason is because the group gets a lot of stuff, and you can't give us that stuff unless someone bought it. So like,
Right.
yeah. And then it also does like require like a really big commitment. Like some people think everyone who joined is flush with cash, and you know, some people are like literally putting it on their credit card to fund their dream. I mean, it was this or grad school, or for some people they didn't even go to college and it was this.
Yeah.
So
And if they did that, I agree with that choice.
yeah. So that's what it really means to me, is this people who have made a commitment and like to talk about the same things that I do, right? Like, you know, like we can talk about the circle, we can talk about the language, like most people don't enjoy talking about.
We had this like insane conversation, which I think we talked about in one of our prior videos.
Yeah.
Sitting on an island owned by silent monks
Yes.
who owned a vineyard,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation about sort of, you know, very different political points
Oh yeah.
of view,
Yeah.
but realizing how much commonality I think
Yes.
there is between what we believe in,
Yes.
and how polarizing the way that people try to capitalize on these things can be
Yes.
and make money, whether it's the left, right, or in the middle, right?
Yes.
People are trying to make money off of it. So we had, and that's what you get there, is having
Yeah.
people who are really self-actualized, who are highly self-aware,
Yes.
and who are looking, and don't, they're not like, oh, I'm so self-aware. It's
No.
like, hey, teach me. Hey, that's cool. How do you do that? Like, I get afraid in these situations. How do you not?
Yeah.
Like, how do you break through that? It's this radically open group of
Yes.
people about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like real. So he said networking into like his video, but I was like, well, we have to be really clear about this. And
Sure.
that's that level.
And I
like,
definitely didn't say the word network.
okay, maybe he
You
did.
heard the word networking.
Yeah,
Mine,
yeah.
because I wasn't clear.
Because you said
Yeah.
meet people, but
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
fine. So that's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Cool.
But the point is, look, even just pause for a second. Look at the back and forth we just did. We are both so committed to clarity that we can't even like let it go by.
Yeah.
And that conversation, I think we both have the same heart and we both want the same amazing outcomes for people, and we have different ways of approaching it. But when you're with someone, because usually like if you disagree with someone, you can't even see them as a thinking, feeling human being with a heart, right? But when you can listen and say, you know, what are your words, but then also what is your intent? What is the message that you want? And that's what I would say is like amazing. Like we talked for like, it was an hour and a half, and it was like, but it was honestly, I would say it was a beautiful conversation, even though we didn't like agree. And you can tell we're both passionate, like, but at the end of the day, it wasn't.
I was trying to talk Yvette out of Donald Trump, and it was like I couldn't, like it couldn't.
Okay,
couldn't happen.
crazy.
No, I'm
Craziness.
kidding. I'm totally joking.
Craziness.
I'm totally joking. So, but listen, to you know, bring this to a close. We were having a lot of fun. So the bottom line is, right. And by the way, that is not me advocating anything with regard to how President Trump communicates, right? So that's its own video for a different day, right? So that shouldn't be interpreted as me saying, you know, advocating that communication model, right? So different story for different day. We're just being silly and having fun. So the reality though is maybe, and I didn't even know going into spontaneous Saturday, just having a little fun.
Yeah.
What the real message was here, I think the message here is who is your circle,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
About how impactful is who people's have, who that the group that people have around them in their circle, and what that does to your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, your progression. Who's limiting you, who's stopping you, who's draining your energy, who's taking in different directions, and listen, I'm not preaching. I live my life in insane ways for extended periods of time, beautiful ways in certain ways, and insane ways in others. That to the outside observer, be like, how can you have all this going and be doing this and living in this space and things holding you back and people holding you back? What are you doing? You know, no preaching. We can all get there, but the challenge is to say, choose your circle.
Yeah.
Choose your people to uplift you, and that's why you're here today. We're having conversations. It's Thanksgiving. It's awesome.
Yeah, I came to be here because when I'm with Sean, it feels great. I feel like I'm with family, and it is. I think it is really real. Like you have to be very conscious of the people that you're around. And if I can, I'll take one level. I actually had a panic attack a couple days ago, and between what I learned, but also having a friend that I could call, and he picked up the phone, and we actually had enough toning language that he could shift me out of that in a couple of minutes. Like, and I've been having these for years. So I just get real, right? Like that's the level where it's someone you can have Thanksgiving
Sure.
with, you can talk about business ideas, and you can call them crying while you're having a panic attack because you're like, you really need help.
And even sitting here, like we're having conversations, you know, some people had some things I had to get through from my past
Yeah.
that were, you know, really deeply emotionally bothering me, and like boom, somebody says something in leadership to me,
Yeah.
and it really changed the trajectory of some things deep and internal for me.
Yeah.
Or all of a sudden I'm rolling and I'm meeting a guy like Chris Crone,
Yeah.
who's got 306,000 YouTube subscribers, and like I think we have great content, great message.
Yeah.
I don't know how to build YouTube subscribers yet.
Yes.
Chris is like, are you kidding? It's easy.
Yeah.
Just like come hang out, let's talk.
Yeah.
Like, so as you expand your circle,
Yes.
you keep learning. So we're not here to tell you we know how to do everything, but we do know how to teach you to go learn to do anything,
Yes.
right? By finding your circle. So Yvette, thank you so much. Great for being here. Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Have a beautiful day. Spontaneous Saturday you're watching this on, so I hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful. Hey, Blind Mastery Movement, we're going to change the unemployment rate for blind people in America, and for everyone, the Mastery Movement's on the roll. So thank you. Have a great day. God bless.